halfway through My Husband and I Sleep in a Coffin. Spoiler talk time. So this is basically a story about our main character technically being found out that he was transmigrated into someone else's body, and the person that he was in charge of raising into an evil hellspawn fell in love with the new person inside the body. I'm going to be butchering these names, and I didn't give them any nicknames just because I didn't feel like it this time around. So our main characters are called Wang Shi Yo Mi Shi. I'm so sorry. It's terrible. And then our other character's name is Wen Fuljin. Wen Fuljin. This is Wen Fuljin. And technically, our little Xiao here is in the body of someone called, what was his name again? Monday something? Monday? No. I'm totally saying their name wrong. It gives scum villain vibes, okay? Because he was technically the Shishong of this freak, and I do mean freak because he is a freak. And he ruined his life as a child, okay? On purpose. When we get flashbacks to the original MD, because that's her initials, life, he purposely ruined the life of a child because his parent was most likely falsified in a trial of something. So he was transmitted into the body of MD, and he was so bad at his job, he instantly told, like, he could tell that he wasn't the same person. But when Xiao failed at his mission, or whatever it about it, the system that transmigrated him into the body was like, you suck. I'm sending you home and I'm deleting your memories of this entire thing. So he did that. Faljing, you know, our zombie dude, was a little upset because he actually fell in love with our little Xiao here, little Xiao. And he's like, no, I don't want the original Xing Shang back. I want the one that was nice to me. Fuck everybody else. So he basically just kills everybody in the sect and takes the body of his Xing, because that's the body that he went into the first time around. And he's like, I need to find a way to bring that soul back. I need my Xiao back, okay? So he took an elixir where he's basically immortal, and thousands of years looked for treasures, whatever he can, to bring him back. Because we literally start the story off with little Xiao over here, waking up in a coffin, being felt up by zombie bro here. Yeah, it's been stated in the book that he definitely has used the body after the original host was dead. That's what I'm getting from that. And he married them, even though one person was dead, but like, I'm pretty sure ghost weddings are a thing, so there you go. And he gives him blood, and somehow that makes the body of Xiao respond to him and listen to him. It's basically like truth serum blood, which is weird, but it also helps the body because he's under this giant cherry blossom tree or peach blossom tree that makes his body not decay, because it's been thousands of years now. Oh, so if you're wondering about Xiao's family, don't worry, bro's an orphan. Only grandmother has loved him. Pretty sure she's dead now. So it doesn't matter that he just died and got sucked into another body. It just doesn't. But it's present day in this book, surprisingly. He in fact waited thousands of years to get his little Xiao back. And at first our main character was like, I'm not gonna be a replacement little Shishong MD dude. And he's like, no, I want you, the soul that went into him. He was an asshole. I just want you, the soul, because you were actually nice to me. And you promised to marry me when I was a child. So we're married now. I'm your husband. And he's like, okay, he's all about the good looks. Like, one of the first things that he noticed was like, oh my God, he's so handsome. I'm totally down. I've never had an experience with another guy in my entire life. This is probably the only time I'm ever gonna get laid. So I might as well just take it. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. This is literally something that he's actually thought of. Now, this is a ridiculous like title, and like the art on the cover doesn't necessarily, you know, reflect the story, because as I was reading this, I did get a sense of loving her vibes. Just a bit. Bro is a little possessive, jealous, easily. Because there's this one explorer dude who was looking for like a fish pearl to help unblind his gaga, and he fell through a trap while Xiao was using the bathroom. Yes, there is literally a chapter about zombies going to the bathroom. This book is ridiculous, but at the same time, it also has some emotional trauma in it just a little bit. But the art inside is actually a lot nicer than the art on the cover, because Seven Seas is an asshole, and they made the artist rush. The cover does not do justice, and the cover tricks, because I thought this was gonna be goofy. It was not. Homeboy has a body count. There's a room in the mausoleum, because they live in a mausoleum, where there's a bunch of explorers' backpacks. And yes, they all untimely ends, because our little zombie bro has cute pets. And by cute pets, I mean some really creepy ass monsters. Like, I think one of the ones that we see the most, I forgot what the name was, he literally just names them numbers. Okay, that's how much he doesn't care about them. Was a skinless lizard human thing who people that, you know, tries to rob them, because a lot of grave robbers are trying to steal all the treasures and shit that he's collected over the years, because he's loaded. He's got tons of money. So grave robbers are all like, give me that money. So, yeah, a lot of people have died, except for that one younger brother who Xiao has taken a liking to, and he's literally saying like, hey, so if I were to give you some of these treasures, could you do me a favor and get me like a generator, some Wi-Fi, a phone, some snacks, and all that stuff? He's bonding with this human being, okay, because he's not human anymore. Zombie Bro is looking at this being like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him because he's getting way too close to my Xiao Xiao. I'm going to murder him. No, 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 no. So, yeah. Also, this is mature. I don't think the intercourse scene was done well, because this guy is worse than Lao Binghe, because it does fast forward a little bit to where Xiao Xiao had gone to the point where he just blankly stared ahead as the activity was going on. But don't worry, he enjoyed it, because later in the next chapter, he dreams about it. So their relationship is really weird and unhealthy. What else is new in Danmei? I'm sure there are healthy relationships in the Danmei genre. I just haven't found a lot of them. I've seen some, just not a lot in this one. I was hoping for a goofy little thing, you know, like the Tyrant's Beloved Fat Fish. No. Drama, orphans, murder, him trying to not make him remember everything because he did kill a lot of people. And he hung their bodies from a tree. Demented. He was demented. And now they're going to try to fight off grave robbers. Although this book series is apparently very short, because there's only 2 books in this series. And the second book is literally the end. So this is probably the shortest Dame series I have ever read in my entire life. So will I continue this after I read more than half of it? Who knows? It is getting kind of weird that he was transmigrated, had a system, failed at that, and just ejected from the body. And he was being hunted down by the person he was supposed to make into an evil person, because he couldn't act right, which is hilarious in my opinion. Anyway, let's see what happens once I reach the end of this. I think it's going good so far. It's not terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna say, all right, I finished. My husband and I sleep in a coffin. Spoiler talk time. From where we left off, grave robbers were breaking into the mausoleum again. Wolfwood is like super used to this. They have an entire room just filled to the room with backpacks from grave robbers past. Okay, this man has been doing this since the 1300s. Okay, that's how long it's been since he's been alive, and it's currently, I'm going to say present day. So it's been more than 1,000 years, give or take, you know? That's how long he waited for Xiao Xiao to come back. So Chen Bei's a little son of a bitch, because he did all of this to kill his older brother, Chen Hao, who, granted, he's a piece of shit. He's a horrible person. Like, he's jealous of his younger brothers and treats them like dogs, but he's the golden child. So I'm not surprised that his older brother is raised to be a piece of shit. But here's the thing. Chen Bei acts like an idiot. He's not. Again, he plotted his entire thing to off his older brother. So that's why he went to Fulgen and Xiao Xiao and basically was like, hey, I have a tiny little favor. Can you spare my middle oldest brother and myself? Note that he did not mention his older brother whatsoever in this situation. He could not give a shit. Okay. He could not give a shit. And Fulgen is like, I guess I'm going to kill you still, just later on. Just gonna have to make sure Xiao Xiao doesn't see me eat yourself. You know, Fulgen has a very good instinct when people are horrible. Granted, he's had a lot of reason not to trust anybody except Xiao Xiao. I'll get into that in a sec. Let me show you Chen Bei. And you tell me whether or not this mother looks like he's a little deranged. Okay, that's Chen Bei. You see in this scene, he's about to kill his brother. After they get past a couple of the booby traps and like some of the grave robbers get killed, obviously because of Fulgen's cute little guardian pets. And he's cute very lightly, but like whatever. He kind of plotted his older brother's demise, which just verifies Fulgen's gut instinct to not trust this son of a bitch, because he told Xiao Xiao, this dude kind of reminds me of the protagonist that kept coming back to life to kill me. Xiao Xiao was like, what the do you mean, a protagonist? Because his goal from the system was to stop Fulgen from basically killing everybody, and he failed miserably. Because Xiao Xiao has a pure heart, and he's an idiot. He's such an idiot. He's such a lovable idiot. He's a dog. And I'm not being mean when I call him a dog, because this bro literally barks at Fulgen sometimes. Literally, there are lines in here that just says bark. This is why this is such a goofy thing. I've never used so much green in a book in my entire life. Did you see that? Like, the amount of green. I've never had a book make me laugh so much because of the stupidity of the main character. He's a lovable idiot, so he is very much easy to kind of manipulate just a little bit, you know? So Fulgen is most likely the one that tries it. And he can tell that Chen Bei is not really a good person. So, but he still makes the deal because either way he's going to kill him. So all of them come in. A lot of the grave robbers kind of die early on. Yan is the boss, but also Yan is not human. He is a creepy, obsessed stalker fanboy of Fulgen from the past, who thought that if he could get Fulgen to fall in love with him, he would leave Xiao Xiao for dead, because Xiao Xiao at that point had been dead, but Fulgen has been looking for ways to bring a soul and a body back to life, and he has a lot of tools and a lot of magical stuff. Yan doesn't like that. Yan hated him. Yan hated Xiao Xiao so much. Clearly, Yan doesn't know that MD is not the person that Fulgen is actually in love. It literally is just Xiao Xiao. So, like, he doesn't know about the transmigration kind of thing, but Fulgen does, which is why he is so obsessed with Xiao Xiao. He does not give a fuck about MD, okay? He does not give a fuck about MD at all. Because, gotta be honest, Fulgen is justified in his little tyrannical little heart, okay? He was a small, young child who literally had to watch his entire family get executed, okay? And even though the Emperor showed mercy by sending him to this, like, sect and academy, the Emperor still sent, like, spies to spy on him and maybe tried to assassinate him, and then had the director and everyone there, including the children, bully him severely to the point where he has nightmares and can barely sleep when he was young. And when Xiao Xiao was in MD's body, he would have him come into his bedroom and he would hum him a lullaby to calm him down because of the nightmares, because of all the horrible bullying that he had to suffer up until the point he was like maybe 10. Like, because MD literally was like, oh, I made sure that the teachers and the other students make his life miserable so that he self-exits. That was the goal. And they have the nerve to be like, well, Fulgen shouldn't get revenge. I'm just like, These are complete strangers who had nothing to really do with Fojin, okay? Fojin was like 5 years old when this whole thing happened. He had no political power at this point. He was 5. But they wanted him to basically just off himself so they didn't have to deal with it. Why did you even spare his life in the first place? You know, when you execute his entire family in front of him. They made him watch. Fojin kind of deserved revenge. I'm just saying, they were kind of shitty people, okay? And it makes sense, because later on, when Fojin gets older and becomes of age, he goes and collects his father's, like, followers and stuff like that. It basically causes a rebellion. And he left Xiao Xiao in the sect where he was tortured most of his life, just saying. And because he wanted him to be safe. He didn't want him to be involved in this entire situation because he just really loved Xiao Xiao, okay? He wanted to marry him, and he did eventually. There's a lot of dubious consent in this book. It's mentioned, I'm just saying. This is all, by the way, a flashback happening, by the way. This is not really kind of being told in a way because, like I said, the grave robbers are in and they're all doing all this. And Chen Bei is like using a butterfly knife on his older brother while he knocked out his middle older brother because his middle older brother is still a good person and tries to defend his older brother even though he doesn't really like him. The youngest just knocks him out so that he can kill the oldest brother. And he does this in front of a ring of monsters. And the monsters, even themselves, because we can actually see some of the translation of what they're talking about, they're like, wow, human beings are worse than demons. And I was like, yeah, they are 100% worse than demons. There's an older lady and a younger guy who are also a part of the grave robbers, but she's mostly there just to see like these really ancient expensive swords that she is obsessed with because she loves swords, like actual swords, okay? Like she said that she would die happy if she just got to touch one of the ancient swords in the mausoleum. So good for her, okay? She's only 30. They make her seem like she's older, but like whatever. And as they're going in, Fulgen doesn't really take any of this seriously. Like, he just makes sure that Xiao Xiao is in the coffin to sleep. They mostly just sleep throughout this. And it's because the deal he made with Chenben is, okay, I'll spare you and your middle oldest brother, or whoever has your scent, which is basically like the little protection charm. He did try to give his older brother a protection charm, but it looked so dirty and cheap that he didn't want to touch it. So it went to the young disciple of the sword limbs lady. And Chenben's like, okay, that's fine with me. If you don't want to wear it, you don't have to wear it. I'm not going to force you. He didn't want him to wear it anyway because he wanted him to be killed. So that happens. And they're all doing this. And, you know, it is honestly funny how Yan was going to try to monologue. He's like, ha, I planned all of this to find you. It's been years, and now I'm going to get my revenge by making you lose MD. And as he's starting to monologue his big bad plan, while Chenben and the monsters are being, distracted by murdering other people, Fulgi just walks over and snaps his neck. Like, the other book characters are looking at this being like, I thought he was going to fight, or like a monologue. No, he just, for a second, I didn't actually think he was dead. But no, it literally said that Fulgi just walks over the body, and it's dead, 100% dead. But technically, since he's not human, because he took the other elixir, like the other half of the elixir, he comes back to life. Like a creepy ass zombie. So if anything, he is a zombie, bro, but he's not technically a zombie because he is technically sort of human. So apparently, to make Xiao Xiao's body reanimated after death, the medicine needed half of Fojin's heart. So that's what he did. He gave half his heart to MD's body because technically MD was actually dead. Note that during some of this, we do get to see how he actually did end up dying, which was he abandoned the sect after he found out that Fojin was hurt, and he was told that if he did leave the sect, he was no longer a disciple of the dude who's in charge of this entire sect. Again, this is a grown-ass man who decided that he was going to bully a 5-year-old child to committing self-exit because the emperor told him to, because he was related to the guy that they had just killed. Again, seems pretty pointless and stupid that you're blaming a 5-year-old child for this, but like, it's whatever. So, I'm pretty sure Fulgen would not have become a mega villain if they did one thing, and that was save MD's life. Well, Xiao Xiao's life, but they thought it was MD. Because they were honestly losing. They were losing terribly. They were on the brink of death as they climbed up to the sect, okay? And Fulgen was the only one that was still somewhat conscious because Xiao Xiao was barely able to move or talk, like, at all. Also, Fulgen was not in the best shape ever either. Like, his hand was so messed up that you could see bone, okay? That's not normal. I don't know how he was still alive. He somehow was still able to be alive. So he goes there trying to beg them to at least save Xiao Xiao. Like, he doesn't give a about him. It's just save Xiao Xiao, please, just for everything, just save him. And the director comes and basically says, no, go screw yourselves. I'm not gonna give a crap. Fulgen is literally saying, I will do anything. I will beg on my knees. Just please save him, okay? You will never see me again. Just save him. The director gives a smile. She's like, no. And they slam the door in his face. And he's begging on that wall, begging for them to save him. And they just don't. So that's when I think Fulgen snapped, because that's when he starts going extremely dark and crazy. And he won. He won the war, by the way. Like, any humanity left in him just died on that night, as Xiao Xiao was barely clinging to life, and he was begging people to save the only person he cared about. At that point, he's like, I will never forgive you. Ever. I will make you pay. And he did. He killed everyone in that sect, including the children. Some people might be like, that's a little overkill. But I'm also like, yeah, but these are also grown-ass adults and children that saw another orphan child and thought, hey, bully him until he self-exits himself. Because we told you to. Okay, that's literally what they did. So, is it a little fucked up? Yeah, but at the same time, y'all know what you deserve. All you had to do was save Xiao Xiao. And his only crime was because he cared about Fulgen and wanted to protect him and take care of him. Because to him, he thought there was still some good left in him, right? And as he's slowly dying, he's not technically dying, the body is dying, but the system has given up on him and is just going to eject his soul out of the body and send him back to the future. And that's when we come back into the present time. This whole thing was a flashback that Xiao Xiao had when Chenbei just shot him. Okay? Like, he got his brother out of the mausoleum. We saw that part. Fast forward to Yan and Fulgen having a little conversation until Fulgen just him. And then the swordsmith lady and her disciple also show up. For some reason, she wants to cop a feel. Not on Xiao Xiao, but on the sword that he's holding. Because he has this magical sword that Fulgen gave him. And it has the ability to tell whether a person is horrible or not. Like, it'll start to heat up really, really hot. And by hot, I really mean that when Xiao Xiao heard that the sword could heat up, he used it to cook meat. Trust me, like, he made Fulgen hold the sword because he's clearly evil, because he's murdered people in cold blood. So the sword just, like, heats up like fire to warn him that danger, danger, danger. And Xiao Xiao just starts cooking strips of meat onto the sword. And Fulgen stares at the sword and says, if the sword could talk, he'd probably curse you out. Because he felt bad for the sword. I mean, like, technically, they don't need to eat. Xiao Xiao is just gluttonous. He just eats whatever he wants. They don't need to eat at all. Like, they can eat, but they don't need to. So it was pretty weird that he was cooking barbecue while the Grey Robbers were being murdered and stuff. And this super special sword is what he uses to try to defend himself when the swordsmith lady really just wants to touch the sword. But she says, I want to cop a feel. And in his young mind, he's like, what the fuck is this shit? And he tries to defend himself by swinging the sword blindly with both hands like this. And I'm just like, this is bad. This is how he got shot by Chenbei. He wants to kill them. Like, he wants to. And the swordsmith lady saves him from getting, hit in the head, but his chest got, again, he's technically not alive. All he needs is, like, blood, and that'll kind of help him because Fulgen is the elixir to help heal him. Because after a little flashback thing, and then, Xiao Xiao realizes, oh, I forgave him back in the past. Which means I shouldn't be angry with him now. Cool. Nice. He wakes up and he's like, holy shit, why is everyone on the ground dead? And why is he pierced to the tree? And Chenbei is trying to kill him. Chenbei literally tries to gaslight him. Says like, oh, he tried to kill everyone. And I'm trying to protect you. So I had to kill him. And like, everyone thinks Xiao Xiao's an idiot. Even I think Xiao Xiao's an idiot. But even Xiao Xiao's like, are you serious right now? Like, no. Fulgen literally thinks that because now Xiao Xiao has all his memories, that he's not going to trust him, and he's going to hate him, he's going to let him die. Like, he gave up on life at that point. And he's like, no. So then he beats the hell out of Chenbei and frees Fulgen and says, I forgave you. It's fine. I still like you. And like, they hug. And all of a sudden, Fulgen just starts healing, like, super fast. Wasn't healing when he was pinned to the tree. But all of a sudden, now that he's like Xiao Xiao, the healing factor kicks in. Okay, sure, whatever. It didn't work before. Also, his hair turns super white because he gave up on life. Okay. So his hair was already kind of white. It was kind of like gray in here. But like, in the book, it's described as black. But it's not anymore. So now he has like silver white hair. Which Xiao Xiao fucking loves. Like, that is a thing that he loves to see on men. He's a little weird with the hair, let's be honest. Chenbei is still trying to lie, and Xiao Xiao is not having any of it. So he starts beating him up again until he's like completely knocked out, and they just hog tie him. They heal the two others, like the swordsmith lady and her disciple, because he's like, we have to help them. They're good. He used the sword to make sure they were good, because he pressed it up against them and said, it's not hitting up, so they're definitely good. So he asked Fortune to heal them. So he takes some of the blood off of like Xiao Xiao and gives it to them, and it heals them because their blood is the elixir to heal them. Also, Yan is now officially dead because he needs the other half of the medicine that Yan took, so Fulgen just fed Yan's heart to Xiao Xiao. We don't see this in the book. It's just mentioned that he is, and then we literally skip the part where Chenbei and Fulgen are fighting because we spent most of the time in the flashback. So the author doesn't really like fight scenes because like the fights are very crude and they're like roundhouse and punch, and it's very not serious at all when it comes to fighting. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think I want to read the second book, because it's about these artisans who hunt down supernatural creatures. Okay. And Fulgen and Xiao Xiao are living in the human world now because Xiao Xiao was bored being underground. And Fulgen's like, fine, we will go live in the human world for a few months, and then we can just come back home to our mausoleum because I built this for you. So they're doing that, and because they still have like really long ass hair, like to their ankles length, they do draw attention, and it's more like people find them extremely attractive, especially Fulgen, especially because of his white hair. There was a point where Xiao Xiao wanted to cut their hair to like blend in a bit more, and Fulgen was not having that because ancient China and like the long hair thing. So that was a thing. Also, they did not kill Chenbei. They tossed him to the police with evidence that he committed murder and stuff like that. We don't ever see the middle older brother anymore. He got knocked down and just taken away. That's the last we saw of him in this book. And then the last bit of the book is literally just spent with Xiao Xiao and Fulgen spending time in the current world, where Xiao Xiao is basically addicted to his phone, video games, and like junk food and stuff like that. Again, they technically don't need to eat, but like Xiao Xiao is glutton and he just likes to eat. And that's when they meet like an artisan dude who wants to hunt them, but like he isn't really good at his job, to the point where Fulgen just kicks him into a garbage can every single time they see him. And Xiao Xiao at one point says like, this is kind of getting a little pathetic. You keep kicking him into the trash can. He's very acquainted with our trash can. Stop it. And he gives him an umbrella one rainy day, and like he gives up after that. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm pathetic. I look like a drowned rat. I'm just gonna go home. But again, the next book apparently is going to show us somebody that Fulgen is going to save. I don't know why Fulgen's saving this person, because he doesn't like anyone except Xiao Xiao. So, oh, by the way, when they left the mausoleum, they still brought the coffin because Fulgen has superhuman strength, so he could carry that shit. They rented a truck, so he just carried it into the villa that they're staying in. And the sword lady is selling some of the important stuff for them because Fulgen and Xiao Xiao gave her one of the ancient swords, and she's like, you know what? I owe you my life. You got me one of these more expensive, rare ass swords. I owe you my life. And her apprentice is like, huh, I wonder why the younger looking one knows, like, he really gets technology, like, really quick. they didn't tell them that, oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually from your current timeline. I just got forced into the body of this empty dude, so I'm not really from ancient China. But like, you know what? Who needs to know that? So this book was really just goofy and funny and silly. Again, I've never used the green highlight so much in my entire life because green just means it made me laugh. I don't really take this book seriously. I don't really think I want to read the second book because you could just read this and kind of end it like them just living in the human world, being happy. But if you're curious about the person that Fulgen is going to save, and if you actually care about the artisan people who are, I guess, supernatural hunters, I guess you could pick up the second book. If I do pick up the second book, it definitely will not be the physical copy just because Seven Seas, that cover was awful. Stop rushing your artist. It's stupid. Anyway, I think this is a good read for Halloween. So, you know, it's goofy, silly, not at all that serious. Y'all know what my next book is. My next book is volume 10 of The Husky and the White Cat. And if anyone's seen that cover, it's not going to be happy. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. So next month will be The Husky and the White Cat. So look forward to that mental breakdown. Who knows, right? Who fucking knows? At that point, I'm accepted the fate of Moron into winning. So, yeah. Have a nice day.